Hey everyone, very good evening and welcome to this session where we're going to discuss about Microsoft Word. Today is our first session. There will be 8 sessions altogether, 2 months. We're going to go from very basic Microsoft Word all the way to how are you going to build some forms and so on. If you look at the list, the core word fundamental, that will be our topic today. Then we're going to spend 2 hours on formatting. 1 week, next week, 1 week, and then the following week. Then we're going to look into how do we apply styles and how can the style help us do the work document. So I'm going to take 2 weeks to do that as well. Then we're going to go into the collaboration tools between Microsoft Word and many other features. And mail merge followed by word forms. Okay, so these are the 8 topics that I have picked. Now, nevertheless, if you have any question related to this, other than this 8 topic, you can also request and ask. We will see if we can find a time to slot in. Okay. Now, for this time, I'm not giving any files. You can use any files that you are having. And I'm going to share the document that I'm using. Okay, where is it? Okay, let me just pull this one down. And let me just minimize this. Okay, where is my Word document? This is my Word document. All right, now, if you all know, Microsoft Word is a word processing tools. It's a word processing application in Microsoft Word. So they are basically just working with alphabets. Alphabet is their main core thing. In Microsoft Excel, numbers is their main core. And graphics, if you're working with a lot of graphics, then PowerPoint will be your options, right? You want to do presentation, you want to design brochures, you want to design leaflet, yeah, you can use PowerPoint to do that, besides presentation, of course. So in Microsoft Word, there are a lot of hidden secret behind. And a lot of people don't like those things that I'm going to show you today. Okay, so in Microsoft Word, they have this particular button up here. Okay. It's hidden inside the paragraph group here, simply because this particular button is called paragraph marker. Okay, it's called a paragraph marker. It's called a paragraph marker for a reason. So every time you see this symbol that looks like the bean sprout, the tauge, that means it's a paragraph. But when you put your mouse over to it, when you put your mouse over to that button, it says there show height, which means there's actually a lot of marker inside that particular button. So let me just click it on. Now you notice there's a marker like this. Every time you see the tauge, the mean sprout, that means this is a paragraph. Each time you see this symbol, it's a paragraph. It's a paragraph. It's a paragraph. Even though they are empty, they are considered a paragraph, a line. Now, if you notice this paragraph, it contains 4 lines before you see the marker. So these are all called a paragraph marker. They are the one who tells you whether or not you are using a paragraph or you are not. I'll tell you what I mean later in a short while. Now, what other symbol that you see inside here when you turn it on? You see this as well. This one. You see these square dots here? Now, if I don't zoom in, it will look like a circle, right? But all these are called the space marker. I'm not talking about the spaceship, but the space is like the distance between the word tips and for, there's one space. For there's a space. So those are called the space marker. If I turn it off, you take a look. If I turn it off, there will be no marker. It looks clean. It looks clean. So sometimes when you read the document, you have something like this, right? 2 space here, no, 2 space here. Now you don't really know what's going on. Why is there such a big gap? Okay, so you can turn it on to see, oh, there are 2 dots, means they actually uses 2 spaces. Sometimes these people do their work, they use this method. So if I put right in front of these tips here and I press a tab, okay, now you don't see anything. I do not know why you don't see anything. Okay, let me just try here. Press a tab. So you notice there is this marker appear. So this is called the tab marker, right? This particular item here is called the tab marker. So I'm actually introducing all the markers to you. Every time you see all these markers, you have to identify what they actually do. So how did I get this one? I press the tab You know, on your keyboard, there's a tab key just above the caps lock. That is the tab marker. So if I turn it off, you'll be wondering, why is there such a big space? You thought that these people actually press spacebar, spacebar, spacebar. But when you want to investigate this document, you can turn on the marker. You can really see what they use. Now, sometimes you thought they are using tab, but they are using this. So without the show height marker, you won't be able to identify exactly what these people are using for their document. So this is very, very powerful for those of you who finds out that this document has a lot of issue. You need to clean up for this person. Then this marker will play a very important role. You turn it on to see whatever mistake or problems that they are actually using. Okay, I give you a very quick example. You take a look at this. At first, purchase the seed in small quantity. So when I click in this paragraph, I want to put in the bullet for each of the paragraph. So I turn on the paragraph marker. So this bullet, bullet. How come there's only one bullet where I have so many points here? You see, you can consider it's another point. Use gardening material locally is another point. There are so many points here. Why is it that there's a whole thing is only one dot? Okay, so I want to do something about this. Okay, let me just take it off first. So usually you will highlight, you highlight until here. Okay, until here you say, okay, I want to turn on the marker. So I turn on, still one only. I highlighted still one only. Now, when I turn it on, you notice there is a different type of marker here. This one. Yep, sorry. This marker here. What does this marker do? This marker is called a line break. Line break marker. Okay, line break, which means they still belongs to the same paragraph, but they start in a new line. That's why they call it the line break marker. So you notice at first purchase the seeds in small quantity. Then there is the line break, which means this person don't want to continue typing. He wants to start the next line below. You want to start the next paragraph below the first paragraph. However, they uses the wrong symbol. So how do you get that symbol? Let me just show it to you here. Let me just do it here. So I put here 1, right? 1. If I press enter, I will get this marker called paragraph marker. But if I press shift enter, I actually have a line marker. Shift enter will bring the line marker, which means you are still preserving one paragraph, but you type in 2 lines, right? So this is 2. You can tell shift, you can put there 3. So this line 1, line 2, and line 3 is actually one paragraph. So that's what it means. Okay. I will show you the reason why people use that shortly. But now let's rectify this problem. Why am I not looking at this in multiple bullets here? Because of line break, I will only see one paragraph marker. Do you see that? There's only one paragraph marker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this document over here, this whole set of data. I'm going to use the find and replace. Find and replace. So when you find and replace, what do you want to find? Okay, what do you want to find? I want to find, okay, I click more. Now I click inside the find. I tell them I want to find some special character called line break. Okay, so can you find the line break? It's called manual line break. And I want to replace it with a paragraph mark. And this is the line break and the paragraph mark. So let's take a look. All this marker here, when I click replace all, it will replace everything. So there are all 11 markers that has been changed. So when I click OK, okay, then OK again, I just close. So you see, now each and every paragraph will have a dot. So if I turn this off, they will look great. You understand what I'm trying to do? So sometimes when you get documents like this and you want to put in the dot, don't do the dot manually. You will not know what's going on in your document unless you turn on your marker. Okay, so the important thing when you actually start using Microsoft Word is to identify all these markers. At least you know what are they for. Right? These are very important information that everyone should know. Just like how I show you in Excel, what is text and what number. Here, I'm telling you that this marker is important. Because if you want to troubleshoot the entire document, the person who do the work may not know Microsoft Word very well and they are doing it wrongly. Therefore, you need to work on some of these features to help you. Okay, so this is the marker. So there are people who write this kind of work. Let me just press enter first. Now, for example, right? For example, okay, I want to put here number 2, okay, Jalan Simpang. No, this is address, Simpang 2. Okay, so 2. Sorry about my typo. Now, if I press enter, each of my lines in my each line, give me a second. Let me put it down. Now, each line of my address will be a new paragraph. So let me just press enter. It's a new paragraph, right? Then I put there, maybe I put there Kampung Setia. Okay, Setia Abang, so whatever lah. Enter. Then I have this 445 something. Then let's just say it's Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur. Then I put there Malaysia. Okay, so this is the address. What will happen in your document is, if let's say you want to have a spacing between your word, you see, if you do, I will talk about the formatting in detail later, but let's just say I select this, okay, or I select the whole document, then I go to the paragraph. Okay, there is this thing called line and page paragraph spacing. So if I choose 2, you notice that they are actually distant away. This is 2 spacing paragraph. So each paragraph there will be 2 spacing. But address look like this, look very weird. If the address looks like this, is totally weird. Therefore, we should not use enter. Right? Let me just press delete to bring back the data. Then I press shift enter. Okay, this is still 2 paragraph, right? Two paragraph spacing. You see, whether or not you like it, it's actually 2 spacing. Okay, for every line. So let me just take this one back to 1. Okay, to 1. Now, if I go to my paragraph spacing now, okay, paragraph spacing, that is line spacing. That one is two spacing that you see. But now I look at this one, the different paragraph now, different formatting now. Just now we were doing this. Now I want to do this before and after. Okay, so I want to do after, and I increase this to 12 point. When I press enter, you'll notice that they actually space out. They space out. Okay, each and every paragraph will space out. But if I don't use paragraph marker, I will do like what I showed you just now. Shift enter, it will still stick together. Okay, it still stick together. Shift enter. So this is one paragraph. So the paragraph spacing only apply after the paragraph. So this is not a new paragraph. This is a line spacing. So you can still make this stick together, but the rest of the document, everything space out. Okay, so for the rest of the document, okay, I change this back to 0. See, for the rest document. So if I select this whole document here, everything, then what I do is for every paragraph, I put in 12 paragraph spacing. Okay, 12 paragraph spacing. So everything will be big. Everything will be big. 12 paragraph spacing. Everything should be big. Okay, the spacing should be big, but this paragraph won't be big. Simply because it is not a new paragraph. Each line is not a new paragraph. So the line spacing helps you to preserve one paragraph even though they're in different line. So this is where people use this line break. Got it? So there are this marker. This marker is very, very important for you to identify the information that you're using. So let me select all. I'll just turn it back to 0. right? 0 and 0. So everything goes back to normal. There is no paragraph marker spacing anymore. So I just want to illustrate this marker that you're using here. What is the purpose of doing that? Okay, what's the purpose of using all this marker? Okay, so now any question so far? So these are all the essential things that you must understand. Now they are very ugly. However, these markers are not printable. No matter how ugly they are now, if you go to File, Print, they are not there. The document will still looks good without all the marker. Okay, but on your document is for you to read the document so that you understand and you know how to repair it. You can turn it off if you are not in favor to look at it. So while you are reading, you don't need it, but when you are editing, you need it. Are we clear so far? Oh, welcome everybody. Sorry, I didn't know you guys are here. Okay, Agnes, you were here and you left. Now, what I want to talk about next is how do you make selection in Microsoft Word? Okay, so a lot of people say, selection, well, Kelvin, you want to tell me about selection? Now, there are a couple of tricks that I think many of us are not aware of. Okay, now let's just say this paragraph here. Now, I'm going to turn this on so that you can see the paragraph. This interested until the word knowledge is one paragraph. You see, there's one paragraph. The rest are not. The rest are just paragraph. They are just different line. That's all. Now, if I want to highlight the word change, you see the word change here, I want to highlight the word change. Most of us will do this. Highlight. Okay, we will from the beginning, we drag all the way to the end. But actually, there is a simpler way. You just go to the text and you just double click. When you double click, you can select one word. Okay, so what happened when you triple click? Now, many people have not heard of what is triple click. Why is there a triple click? Now, if I point to the same word and I click 3 times, triple click, 1, 2, 3, I can select the entire paragraph. You see that? Sometimes when you point your mouse, you don't have to like drag until the end because it's like more than one word, right? You know about double click. Double click is one word only, ma. So when you want to select the whole paragraph, you will like, oh, have to drag. Now you don't have to, you just triple click it, and they will select paragraph. For example, this line here, the second line. Okay, so you can triple click it. You see they select the whole line. This is something that you can do very quickly if you want to. All right, now another thing I want you to look into this is when you put your mouse inside your document within your editable area, it is actually an I-beam, like an alphabet I, right? Your cursor, alphabet I. So whenever you put here, it's like alphabet I. It looks like alphabet I. So it's called it I-beam, I-B-E-A-M, beam. Now, if I position my I-beam now outside the document, which is at the margin, you notice my cursor now turn into an arrow, and the arrow is pointing to the right, towards the right. What does this do? This can actually click once for one line, double click for the whole paragraph, and triple click for the entire document, starting from the first page to the last page. So every time when you get something new on your screen, right, they have a reason for it. If you put inside, this is I-beam, is for you to select. But if you put outside here, you can click once for one line, double click for one paragraph, triple click for the entire document. Right. Of course, you can always press the Control A. It does the same thing. So when you put outside here, you triple click it, you will have the whole entire document from the start to the end. Let me show you. I select like this. If I scroll down, you see everything is selected until the end, until the last paragraph. So this only have 4 pages. So this document only have 4 pages. So not many text to see, but I just want you to know how to do the selection. Okay. Now, when you use your mouse, yes, that's how you do it. Now, let's just say I don't want to use my mouse. Now, I place my cursor right in front of the word interested. I don't want to use my mouse. I put my mouse at the top right-hand corner. See, my whole finger here, I'm not holding my mouse anymore, but I want to make a selection. So if I want to make a selection, I believe all of you know that you can actually hold down your shift key and use the arrow key. Now, when you do that, you are actually selecting character by character, one alphabet by one alphabet. Okay, so if you don't want to do that, you can actually hold down your shift and control. Hold down your shift and the control, and you will notice that you are actually selecting word by word. It's a lot faster. Right? If you want to move to the right, just press right. You want to move to the left, just press the left. Now, if you want to move down, so when you control shift and move down, you're actually selecting the paragraph. If you don't hold down your control, you only hold down the shift, then you are only selecting line by line. But you know that you need the whole paragraph, just control shift, down arrow, one paragraph selected. Now, these are all the keyboard shortcuts that you can actually apply to your document. When your hands are all tied up on the keyboard, you do not want to take it up and hold the mouse. You can use this keyboard shortcut to select the content. Okay, so the control key moves from one word to another word. When you use the arrow, move word to word, but the shift key moves the selection. So when you combine them together, you are selecting word by word, control, shift, right? So if you press control, they move word by word. If you just use the arrow, it's just by character, right? So hold down control shift, you select word by word, down arrow to select the whole paragraph. If you only want to select one line, just hold down the shift. No need to press the control. Okay, so now I'm talking about using keyboard now, using keyboard. So I talk about number one, how are you going to select using your keyboard? Then how are you going to select using your mouse? Okay, so you already know about it. So single click, double click, double click and triple click. Triple click is the whole paragraph. Now that's inside. Outside, double click will press the whole paragraph. Triple click will select the whole document. All right, so that's something that you can do. Okay. There's something that a lot of people do not know about. Okay, listen carefully. A lot of people do not know about. Now you take a look at my screen. I start from here, somewhere in between the word purchase. Okay, I'm going to select like this. You notice I'm not selecting horizontally across, but I'm selecting vertically down. I can color this in red color, leaving behind here black and the back here black. The middle part's red color. I can use this kind of selection. Okay, so what did I press? Now I already mentioned shift, I already mentioned control. There's one key I didn't mention called alternate. Okay, so if you hold down your alternate when you select, you are selecting vertically down. Okay, now in your mind now you must be thinking, what for this one? Why do we want to select like this? Let me give you an example. I give you a blank document now. Okay, don't worry about what I'm doing here. So I just type here, let's just say topic one. Then I press a tab key. See, there's an arrow, the tab key. And I start to type in some words. So I learned German recently, so excuse my German. So this is the document, right? Now, what I'm going to do now is when I type like this, you notice that there's a tab key, right? There's a tab key and I type in. So I'm going up to this item here, this one, the one here. It's called hanging indent, hanging indentation. Hanging indentation. Now, don't worry about that. We will come to this topic when we talk about formatting, but I'm just going to show you something here. If I take this hanging indentation, when I put my mouse over, it says that hanging indentation. Not this left indent, but hanging indent. Yeah, hanging indent. I push it over. This is how the document look like. So if I continue to type, let me just select this. Copy. Now, I continue to type. I say that this is actually topic number 2. Tab. Then I press paste again. Now this is not real. So I got topic 3, tab, then I paste it again. Now, assuming I have 3 topic now. I want to make all the title, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, red in color. So what I'll do is I just start from the beginning here. I highlight like this, and I'm just going to make it red. So only this part is red, but this part is not red. So they say make the whole entire content here blue in color. So you hold down your alternate key, you select from here. And you make it blue in color. So you don't have to do this. Highlight blue, highlight blue, highlight blue. You don't have to do this one by one. Get it? So the alternate selection is one of the thing that is seldom mentioned in Microsoft Word. So it's alternate enter. You see, you can highlight in between. Vertically down. So this is where you can use all this selection. So questions, anyone? Right. Is there any of those problem that you have in Microsoft Word that you are facing? You can always bring it out now in relation to all these markers and selection. Okay, now I'm going to continue about selection again. Just now I show you how to use mouse. I use you how to use keyboard. This time I'm going to do a combination with mouse and keyboard. So let's just say I want to select starting from the word building. So I put my cursor right in front. I'm not going to highlight anything. I just put the cursor right in front of the word building. So that's my starting point. And I to continue to read, continue to read, continue to read. And I want to highlight all the way until here, peanut locks. So I want to select here. I believe a lot of people will do this. They will highlight. Oh, oh, oh. I had to go up again. Oh, oh. You're supposed to stop here, right? See, you have to go up and down a couple of times before you can find where you want, especially when there are a couple of pages. Now, this one is still just the next page, so it's quite easy. Now, what you should do is you should place your cursor right at where you begin, where you want to begin. Go all the way down, look for the peanut lock. Put your mouse there first. Don't click. Put your mouse there at the end here first. Hold down your shift, and then you just click. So isn't it very clean, the selection? So you just tell them where you want to start. Hold down your shift key and click where you want to end. That should do the magic. Okay, so next time if you are working on a Word document, especially when you are working on your thesis or whatever, let's say you are continuing studying your degree or your whatever that you are studying, and you need to write reports, this is how you can highlight and delete them. Okay. Now, any question? Selection. So start somewhere. Don't press anything yet. Just position your cursor. That's your starting point. Then continue reading until you found the last item that you want to select. Maybe it's until here. Circle of life. So you just hold on your shift key and click. It will highlight all the way to circle of life. That's how easy it can be. Yes, Mike. You have something to say now? Hey, Noel is here. But Noel, you say you are not coming.
I'm driving, so
You're
I
driving.
thought
Then
I'll join while I'm driving. Yes.
okay, concentrate on the road and don't look at my screen. Now, this is one of those things, two of those things that we often have to do when we are using Microsoft Word. So you already know how each and every marker here shows, how they appear. And I want to, now I'm just touching on the basic for now, from now on, this first half an hour. Now, I want to show you something else after you know how to work on the selection. All right, so let's look at this. Gardening, the important lesson for your kids. Okay, so if assuming you want to put there gardening, then the word lesson is supposed to be after the word gardening. So you can select this word lesson. You don't have to cut and paste. You don't have to do that. Now, once the text is selected, let me just go in a little bit closer. See, once the text is selected, when you put your I-beam inside, you notice that the arrow is pointing to the left, not right. If you put in a margin, yes, it will be pointing to the right. But when you put in the selected text, you can actually click and move them any way you like. Position them. Okay, gardening lesson, the important for your kids. So maybe you want to put this one, the important lesson for gardening lesson for your kids. So it depends on how you want to phrase it. So over here, maybe the word gardening is supposed to be here. Right, then you have to change this one to a capital T or whatsoever. So this one is the important gardening lesson for your kids. You can play around with the text. Sometimes when we are working in our writing, we didn't realize our grammar is like some kind of out. After you have completed the writing, then you can start reading and work on your grammar, work on your spelling, work on your grammar. Because when you are writing, the inspiration just comes. Don't care about the spelling, don't care about the structure of your sentence, just punch it first. Once you finish, then do your proofreading once, twice, and 3 times before you conclude. Right, so you have to read this multiple times. Okay, so some writer, what they do is once they write one topic, they stop. If they still have the inspiration, they will continue. But if they finish that particular topic, they will stop and they keep on reading that particular paragraph and keep on changing, keep on changing, keep on changing multiple times. So because they do proofreading multiple times to make sure that their grammar sounds right, the spellings looks good. Right? So it depends on whether it's an English or US what do you call that, text that they're using. Okay, so double click and you can move it. So if you want to put this word gardening down here, go ahead, just move them. Okay, now what I'm showing you at the moment is one word. I repeat, one word. Okay, so let me zoom out a little bit. Assuming I want to put this whole paragraph, don't forget to take your water for drinking. I want to take this whole entire paragraph and put it down here before use a knee pad. So I will double click this paragraph. The paragraph. All I need to do is just drag it down before use a knee pad, right? It will bring the paragraph there. You can swap your paragraph very easily in Microsoft Word. Just double click that paragraph, then put your mouse inside the selection and you can move it around. So just move it around. See, you can move it around. So I'm going to put it in front here. Therefore, I'm bringing the whole entire paragraph and do the arrangement. So when you write and you do your writing, don't bother about all this arrangement of paragraphs and whatnot. Like I said, whenever the inspiration comes when you are writing, halfway through your writing, don't worry about all these things first. Get it done first. Forget about the sequence, especially when you are working with working with people and you're doing a brainstorming and you are the minute writer. You got no time to actually just which one comes first, which one second. Just type everything out first. And when you are supposed to prepare this for as a meeting minutes, then that's where you adjust the paragraph and you put all whatever relevant information together and you can do that. Right. So if your meeting minutes is so important that they minute down the minute itself when you say that, then you cannot do that. Okay, you cannot do that in legal, right? In legal document, they actually minuted down every other minute or seconds. What did the person say? So they actually minute it down. There's a clock in front of them. They type the clock. Then at this hour, this is what they say. At this hour is what they say. So they do have that kind of legal document where they actually follow the timing when you say that. Okay, but if let's say it's not a legal document, you decided to move them. So you already know how to do it. You can either triple click here or double click outside here. Then you just move the paragraph. Okay, so that's how you can quickly shuffle your documents. Right? So this is some of those very, very easy feature to use in your Microsoft Word. Are we clear so far? Now this document, I copy and paste it from the internet. I'm not an expert in gardening. Uh, they are not for me. I'm staying in a condo, no place for gardening. So I just thought I just use this document to non-related to IT to show it to you guys. Huh? All right, now next thing I've already mentioned to you some of the marker. Let's revise a little bit. Huh? We have this thing called paragraph marker. Okay, we have this dot 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 that you see in between all these dots. These are called a space marker. A space marker. Now I also show you something called at the end, but now it no longer happen. It's actually okay. Let me just undo this. This marker. This marker is called line break. Line break. Where I actually want to break the line so that I don't continue typing over here, but I type in the next line within the same paragraph. You see, this is only one marker, but it's 3 lines. In this case, it's 4 lines. So these are all the marker. So there are more than this. Okay, let's go in a little bit detail on this. Now, if I put my mouse here now, I put my mouse here. Now, not here. Maybe I'll put it in front of this first item here, the first item. So at first, purchase the seeds in small quantity. So that's my beginning here. Now, if I want to do this, I want to break it down into 2 different sections. I can go to insert, not insert, sorry, layout. There's a section break. There's a section break. I want to put in a continuous section break. I can do that. Now, my cursor is here. I put a continuous section break. So there you go. There's a continuous section break. Now, it's like I'm having a building and I would like to partition the building so that I have a room. So now this whole document is broken down into 2 sections now. This is your section break. Okay, so if I zoom in, I click on the title, which is like above the section break, above the section break. Down here, it will tell me I'm in section 1. You see this? Section 1. I'm actually in section 1 because it's at the top. If I click at the bottom below this section break line, I click on the word purchase. Then if I come down here, you notice that it says there's section 2. Okay, so before the line is section 1, after the line is section 2. Okay, so I'm going to continue to work on my section. Hold on. So here, I'll go to this line. Okay, so maybe over here. Maybe over here. I will just go and break and I do another continuous section break. So you notice they continue in the same page, but they are in different sections. So the one on top here will be section 2. The one below here, the building a rock garden, will be section 3. Right? So you see it's section 3. So I have 3 sections. Now you must be wondering, why are we doing all this? What for? Now you can do this. You can click inside the section 2. Now you can change it into 2 columns. So you notice it does not affect the one on top. It does not affect the one below as well. Below here, there are still 1 column, but the one in the middle now is 2 columns. Right? So I can highlight all this and I say, okay, I highlight all this all the way until here. I just make them justify. So all of them looks justified like that. So now I have 2 bullet column. I have 2 bullet column like this. All right. Now, if I did not turn on my show height, I will not be able to understand how the document was created. You see, the section break is missing. The section break is not here. So where is it? Now, I can only see it when you turn it on. Okay, so this one you can't see because it's over here. I just press enter. Yeah, you can see this section break is here. It's right at the end just now, just a small little line. So I press enter to bring it down, the section break. So anything after this section will be 1 column again. Okay, if I go to this log here, column is 1. Okay, so section 3 is 1 column. Okay, so this is 2 column. I can put 3 column if I want to. All I need to do is just click inside this section and I can change it to 3 column. Of course, it doesn't look good, which is 3 column. 2 column is good. Okay, so this is how you can build something like a magazine. So your magazine, some part of it is one whole stretch from left to right, but some part of it is like 3 columns. Some of them are like 2 columns. Depends on your text. So this is called magazine columns. Magazine columns. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to take this building a rock garden. Okay. This one is my section 3. This time I want to insert a section before. So I go to this section, but I'll put this as next page. That means I don't want them to stay in the same page with this. I want to go to the next page. So I push it down. So it says section break next page. So I'm in the next page now. Then I do another one. This, I insert another break. I say next page, which means I force them to go to a new page, which means my building a rock garden will be in one section alone, one page, and this is another page. Okay, so only when you turn on the show height button, you will see the section break. Okay, so why do you want to isolate this document? Maybe, all right, you take a look. This paragraph, I don't want them to look to be placed in what they call a portrait. I want to change it into landscape. So I go to the orientation, I change it to landscape. You will notice that only in this section will turn to landscape, but the rest of them are still portrait. Because of the section break, I can perform all this work. Do you like what you see? So sometimes when you're building a table, you have a table and your table is quite wide. If you maintain a column break, a portrait, you won't be able to fit everything. Now, you are not going to design your table this way, right? So why not turn the paper? Now, in order to turn the paper, what you need to do? You need to insert all the section break. So if I turn off all the section break now, turn off everything that is have the section break. When you look at this document, you have no clue how the document was actually created. So only when you have the knowledge about the break, then you will understand, oh, there is a section break here. Next page, there's a continuous break here. So down here, there is, where is it? Here, section break. So if you don't want them to stay up here, you can press enter. Then you see this is called a section break, a very huge line. A very huge line. So if I start to write another paragraph now, Okay, this is my paragraph. You notice that the line break goes down. It goes down and it goes down and it goes down, but it does not affect my next page. My next page will still stay at the top. So please do not do things like enter, 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 enter to break it down to the next page. You can use the section break. Now, having the section break is another good idea for making the document looks different. So if in this document here, I want to use a very, very big margin around it. So I go to the margin, then I'll tell them I want to have a white margin. So the document is in the middle. So you see the margin on the top left and bottom, they are both very big. So if you write books, this is a very useful feature for you. If any one of you decided to write books in the future, this is what you can do. Okay, so Word document, Microsoft Word, Word is for word processing. So if you are writing some books, you might want to use this thing called the white margin, but only for this page. How can you do that only for this page? You have to insert what they call the section breaks. Only with the section break, this will happen. So far, do you like what you see? Thank you. Thank you, Kok Lim or Lim Bun Kok. How do I call you? Lim.
Kevin, call me BK.
BK.
Yes.
Heard you
nice
are some
sharing. Yeah.
I thought I heard that you are an expert in BI and so on.
No lah.
Don't be. Yeah, maybe wait for your sharing on BI.
Power Platform on the apps and the Power Automate lah. Power BI probably on the basic lah, fundamental. Yeah.
Okay. Automate lah, automate. Okay, we'll wait for your sharing on that.
Sure.
Okay, so now that you know, you can make your document looks really, really good if you want and you know how to use a section. Now, what I am actually going through with you is to identify what we call the section, the marker. So there are a lot of markers that you can use. There's a lot of marker. When you turn it off, someone give you this document and if you have no idea how it's done, when you just press enter and the whole document runs and you got panic. Uh-oh, what happened? Right, so then you quickly undo and you don't want to touch the document. So this thing happened to a lot of people, you know. So if you turn on the marker and you are well trained in Microsoft Word, then you will know, all right, this guy insert a break here, insert a break here. So that means this is actually 2 columns. So maybe what I will do is I will select all this and I will say, let's not put in the bullet. Don't put in the bullet, but instead we will do something like for all this text, for all this text, we will put in this thing called, okay, let's select this whole paragraph here, everything here. Okay, we will push this marker, the first marker, we push it in. Okay, by doing that, you are actually inserting what we call the first line indent. So instead of using bullet, now you are indenting the first line. Every first line of the paragraph, you move it in. Yeah, why not? It can become a paragraph like this. So this will become a magazine paragraph. Instead of bullets, right? Instead of bullets. I was sharing about the bullet earlier. That's why I used the bullet. But if you don't want, you can do the first line indent. Same goes with all the other document, this as well. You highlight all this. Okay, you just go to your ruler. Now your ruler is broke down into 3 icons here. One is called the first line indent, hanging indent, and left indent. So you go to the top one, the first line indent. You move it in. So only the first line is indented. Only the first line. Isn't that how our teacher teach us how to do karangan, how to do our composition in school, where we put our finger at the margin of the book, then we start writing. So it will be neat lah. Every paragraph, the spacing is neat lah. So I don't know why when we are younger we cannot identify whether it's straight or not, but we have to use our finger to actually show the gap. So this is something like you show the gap. Okay. Now I will be sharing a lot about formatting in the weeks to come. So I'll try not to cross over there. Now, do you have any question related to what I have shared today, which is the marker and also selection, and also the section break? So each section can have their own page setup. You see here, this is your page setup. So if you decided to choose a different paper size, you can do that as well. Okay, let's try that. Let's go down. Now this is already A3. Sorry, not A3. This is already landscape. Let's do this for this guy. Okay, this guy, I'm going to insert a break. Next page, which means this page. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, let's say this page. Okay, this one, this page here. I decided that I don't want to use this A4. I can change the size to A3. So the size is a lot bigger. And I change it orientation to landscape. Then you see this paper is a lot bigger now. You can change the paper size. So like I said, if you have a huge table that you need to fit into your document, you can do this. Now, if you have those copier machine, your printer is actually those copier machine, and the copier machine comes with multiple rack, A4 rack, A3 rack. And when you print this document, right, they will choose the proper rack depending on the page setup that you choose for that particular section. So you print, suddenly all the A4, suddenly got one A3 on it. So you can actually just fold it when you bind the document. Fair enough, right? This is how things are done. All right, so Yeah, this is A3. I've tried that before and it works. Right? Maybe I will put it, maybe you have a big table, right? So a big table, you can't put it in portrait, ma. So you turn it around landscape, and then if you use A3, it's even wider. So what I did was for that particular document, right? I will fold my A3 one side, then another side, then a cover. So when they come to the page, they have to open up twice to see the document, then they cover it back. So things like that can be done for your documentation, right? So like you are dealing with proposal, so your design architecture is very huge, the drawing. So why not put a section break, and then you turn it into a landscape A3 size, then you can draw better, bigger bigger diagram, and you can just fold it, right? So yeah, you can do that. Other than just put A4, so it will be so tiny, your drawing. You don't want your drawing to be tiny, you want your drawing to be big. This is where you can do, right? Yes, Ko, you got a question?
Yes, I got a question. For example, let's say first, second, and third page, right? In order for your third page to be changed to a different size, let's say paper size or orientation, right? You put the section break at the end of the second page.
Yeah, make sure that there is a on top and the bottom. There's a break here and there's a break here. Then this is isolated already.
Oh.
Right. Just like you want to work on your segmentation of your work, right? You must put a segment here and a segment below. So then you can work on the middle part, anything you like. So whatever on top is not involved, whatever below is not involved. So you just draw a line between your document. That's all.
Oh, so the bottom segmentation is right after the very last paragraph, right?
Yes, you see, I got a section break here, right? Then I also have a section break down here. So after this will be this with this text. Then this one after this will be this text. So this particular section is different. So I can change this to 2 columns. I'm sorry, I shouldn't highlight. I should just click here. I just change this one to 2 column. Not enough text to do 2 column, by the way.
Okay, understand.
So
Thank
too
you.
little text.
Cool.
Okay, so
Kevin, section break is a different than page break, right?
Section break is page break doesn't break you into section. Page break is just push you to a next page, to another page, but still within the same section.
Okay, I think I understand it. Got it.
Page break doesn't draw the line, doesn't break it into a different section. Section break will break it into a different section. That means I am no longer in your section.
Okay, this is what I struggle.
Now, in weeks to come, when we talk about the formatting, right, I will revisit this particular topic called section break, because you are going to do something called the pagination, page numbering. You get what I'm trying to say? Page numbering. So for every section, you can start with a new page number. How do you like that?
Okay. I think I got it. Especially we have a table of content, yeah.
So you see, like someone who write manuals, they write manuals. They got module 1, module 2, module 3, right? So if you look at their table of content, they got module 1.1, and this is module 1.2. Then module 2.1, number 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.4. Then module 3, number 3.1, 3.2, 3. So how do you make sure that the page number restarts on every module? Restarts on every module. How do you make sure that the number restarts? So that requires a little bit of understanding on the section break. I will use a better document, not like this one. Okay, so this is actually on a very high level of documentation when you are talking about preparing legal document, preparing what do you call that, policy, company policy, anything that's related to documentation, your SOP, all those documents needs that kind of page numbering. Okay, so the page numbering is only going to work if you know how to play with the section breaks. Okay.
Yep. Good.
Today is just a warm-up session for our Microsoft Word. Hopefully next week, when I start to talk about the formatting, then it warm up a little bit. So a lot of you are using the formatting. So I just want to tell you about those different type of formatting. I'm going to spend 2 hours on that, which means 1 hour each week, right? So 2 hours just on formatting alone. Microsoft Word, nothing but formatting. By inserting the page break is already a formatting. Okay. Now you notice that I started off very simple, showing you the icon and everything, bring you in a ride in the park, and then finally I tell you this can be done in this kind of way. So when you do the show height, everything, the secret reveals how the document is being created. Without the show height, you can actually just forget about understanding the data, understanding the document. You have to show height. Then you can see all the dirty stuff underneath the document. Right? That's why we call the topic the core Word document. Not KHO, but CORE. All right, guys, I think that's it for this week. Right. So if you have any questions, you can always ring up to me and let me know how I can help you if you are trying out. If you are trying out, definitely I'll try my best to help you. Okay, so cool. That's all for me this week.
Oh, great sharing. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kevin, for the great sharing on, although it's a fundamental, I think it's very crucial for us, for a lot of us who are starting to use the Microsoft Word and how to make sure the formatting is correct. Just for example, you should use tab, not by pressing a many spacebar character onto it, something like that. Right, thanks. Right, and there's a feedback form actually placed into the chat window. Right, feel free to share your feedback to Kevin. Right, and we see you again next week with more great sharing from Kevin. Thank you very much, and good night.
Thanks, Kevin.
Good night, everyone. See you next
Good
week.
night.
Bye.
Bye.